What's up? It's your favorite lawyer, Attorney Allie Booker. Let's run through this email, riggedy riggedy run, and see what case is up next, guys. Let's see what they're asking us. I'm going to move it on down. Come on. Oh, a criminal defense question is here. Okay. Here, let's go, y'all. Can I leave the country after a third-degree felony charge after indictment? This is from Cypress, Texas. Hey, I hail from Cypress, Texas, guys. That is a little community inside of Houston, and that is where I was raised. Went to Cypress High School. Hey, what's up, fellow Cypress individual? Okay, let's see. I got arrested on third-degree felony charge, assault on a family member by choking. I'm on a H1B Visa. I'm hoping to get the charges dismissed by or on grand jury indictment. If indicted, can I leave the country? Okay. Let me just let y'all, here we go. Want to hear it? Here you go. An indictment, people don't understand what an indictment is, okay? An indictment is where you're charged with a case what happens is you're charged with a case by the district attorney's office. They accept the case through an investigation that they've received from the police. They listen to what the police have to say and they decide whether or not they are going to accept these charges. If they accept these charges, okay, then they will go ahead and bring the charge. Then you're going to have to bond out and you're going to have to start fighting your case, okay? As your case goes on, normally about 90 to 120 days, as you know, once your case has been charged for about 3 to 4 to 5 months, sometimes 6 months. Now with Corona, it's longer. What happens is a grand jury convenes. A grand jury is a panel of 12 individuals. They work for each court. Every criminal court in the county has a grand jury assigned to it. The grand jury are people that are taking their time and they volunteer their time, and they sit up and they do nothing but hear cases from the district attorney's office. They look at the evidence that the district attorney has. Grand jury proceedings are highly secretive, and the defense attorneys like myself are not allowed inside. It's very rare that a person is able to testify in front of a grand jury, such as a defendant, because many of the times defense attorneys do not want their defendant testifying under oath in front of a grand jury, okay? There are times that we may submit what we call grand jury packets, and based on that grand jury packet, and the grand jury has the right to read that packet or not, they look at the packet and decide whether they want to move forward with the case. But at the end of the day, the person who they get to hear from is going to be the state of Texas, which is the district attorney. So it's not a very fair proceeding. It's kind of arbitrary. The reason that it's arbitrary is because there's 12 grand jurors, and 9 of them have to agree to move the case on. And they stamp that case. If 9 out of the 12 grand jurors put a stamp on that case is good to go and you're indicted. Meaning, not saying you're guilty, but it looks like the state has enough to proceed and move on. With that being said, there are many times that a case is beat after indictment. So a lot of the times I tell my clients, you can worry about an indictment, but not necessarily, because it's such an arbitrary proceeding that it doesn't take much for 9 people to stamp that and move it along. Now, there are times I will fight a case at the grand jury, and I will fight a case before the grand jury and get that case dismissed. But if that does not happen, it does not mean that a dismissal will not come later, and I've gotten plenty of dismissals later. So the first thing I'm telling you, sir, is I don't want you, sir or ma'am, I don't want you to get caught up on whether or not you're indicted or not, okay? Because that does not matter with respect to bond conditions. You are given your bond conditions when you are arrested and let out. Before the judge lets you out, they assign those bond conditions, and those bond conditions do not change based on whether or not you have been indicted. Those bond conditions are set on the charge, the flight risk that you are, your ties to the community, how much money you have. All of these things determine your bond conditions. What type of threat you are, what type of crime it is, those determine your bond conditions. With that being said, sir or ma'am, I'm sure the judge is aware, the state probably brought up the fact that you are on an HB visa, okay? And that means that you are not a citizen of this United States. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. But you already here for temporary purposes, okay? An H1, and I used to do immigration. I don't do it anymore because it's just, to me, it's very, very, it's its own animal, number one, but I know how to do it. But number two, it's kind of boring to me. And number three, it's just very systematic. Just paperwork, send it in, paperwork, send it in. I used to be the deportation and removal. I'd argue on those, and I would draft those briefs for the United States, for court, for federal court, for the law firm that I worked at. And I was good at criminal law, so I did a lot of deportation and removals because I have to beat the criminal case, then move on to help them fight on deportation and removal of the clients, on the immigration side. However, when I clerked, I did all of these visas, work authorizations, and travel documents. So I'm going to go ahead and lay it out from that perspective at this time. So I've already took my criminal attorney hat off, and I took that off. Don't worry about the indictment. That has nothing to do with anything, okay? It has nothing to do with your bond conditions. At the end of the day, I'm pretty sure you are not supposed to be leaving because I'm sure your bond conditions say that you cannot leave because they know that you are a flight risk because you are not a citizen. So they expect for you to try to run, okay? And so I'm pretty sure that's on there. So you're going to need to check your bond conditions. But I'm going to take that hat off, boom, and we're going to run over here to H1B Visa. Okay, guys, a H1B visa is a visa that allows U.S. employers to get over and temporarily employ foreign workers in specialty occupations, okay? So there are certain specialty occupations, and they have to apply for that. And a specialty occupation means a person has special knowledge. They have a very specialized knowledge in what they do, and they have either a bachelor's degree or the equivalent of work experience. And a lot of oil companies and stuff like that, Halliburton, people like that, get a lot of people over here. Computer companies, Compaq, get a lot of people. App companies that make apps. A lot of electronic companies. A lot of intellectually technology. Brain-driven companies are the ones that utilize visas. Okay. And when you're on an H1, it's nothing but a temporary anyhow. So we already know that you're not going to be here for long. Okay. So normally you are given a work authorization and this H1B visa, and then you're given a travel document, and that travel document allows you to move around and go back and forth. So I'm assuming this person already has the right to travel, because if you're here on an H1B visa, I don't know how do you think with a pending charge you're going to get out and get back in, because even if you were on another visa, or if you were a permanent resident, or anything beneath that, I would assume you're going to be flagged trying to come back in. So are you trying to run? I mean, I'm not judging you, baby. I'm just saying, okay, are you trying to run? Are you trying to see, are they going to catch you at the gates? Okay. What I want you to do is contact your attorney, because I'm going to tell you, I don't think you need to be going anywhere. Now, I have had clients that have suffered criminal penalty. I have asked the court if they could leave. The court allowed them to leave, and the court allowed me to fight the case and stand in their place and do the plea and whatever else. And I stood there and I did it, and I knocked the case from a felony down to a misdemeanor, something that wouldn't hurt them on immigration. Okay, I let them go back to their home country, and I took the plea and stood in their shoes. That rarely happens, but I've done it before, because again, I used to do immigration and I did criminal law, so I understood ways to get stuff done, and I have done that before. Okay, your attorney is going to have to be able to tell you that. Okay, guys, a lot of the times people come from foreign countries. When you commit a crime down here, and you're pretty much kind of stuck a little bit while your case is pending, because we don't want you leaving and evading our jurisdiction. Then, not knowing what type of country you go to, they may be a non-extra, a country that does not extradite, or the United States will then be having to pay extra money in order to get you back over here to prosecute you. So I don't know if this person just does not really care. Because when you get an H1B visa, it's pretty much done. We know who you are, okay? And your job, what are you going to leave your job? And why are you trying to go somewhere anyways? Did you already have a travel set up to go home to see your family? Do you already have that travel document? And even if the United States has given you the right and given you a travel document, if you have a bond condition that states that you're not supposed to leave the country, then you're not supposed to leave the country. So I don't know how that is not one of your bond conditions. But at the end of the day, on the immigration side, baby, I don't see how you going to get back in with that pending felony, honey. So I don't think you're trying to get back in. I think you're asking me, can I run? Can I leave? Because how in the world are you going to get back in with a pending felony? They're going to flag you coming back in. I think you'd be denied entry and held at the gate when you try to come back in. That's just me. So knowing that and knowing that you are from another country, I feel like you're just trying to leave and avoid this case. I don't know. And you're trying to see, can you get up out of here? Okay? I can't advise you that that's something that you need to be trying to do. I'm going to advise you to let your attorney know, and your attorney is going to have to get special permission for you, more than likely, from the judge. And I don't know if a judge in hell is going to let you go to another country and let you out these gates, baby. So you can never come back again. Because how would you get back in? Okay? When you were flagged. And then you keep telling me that you think you're going to beat it at indictment. If you beat it at indictment, then there are no bond conditions. And you should be able to go. But you're going to have to get your attorney working on it, because it may still come up as a flag. But if you get it dismissed, that's not a problem. You should be able to come back in. So it's just a little bit of a different, I mean, you're all over the place with the question a little bit. I think you're just trying to kind of see what you can do. So I just had to tell you everything, because some of the question that you ask in of itself kind of doesn't make real logical sense, because what you're telling me, you know, can occur, right? If you got a case that's pending, you're not going to be able to come back in the United States. You're going to get held at the gate. You know that. Nobody wants to go to immigration jail. So I'm not understanding how these travel documents are going to get you in and out with the pending felony. Baby, stay where you are. I don't know, but I can't advise you. You need to talk to your attorney. Okay? So that is my answer on that. And guys, this happens a lot with people. You know, it does. You really have to make sure that you get an attorney in place. There are a lot of the times that, you know, people catch these charges and they don't have their paperwork, but they've been living here their whole lives, and then they end up getting deported. Okay? They go somewhere, they come back in, they end up getting deported. Or they catch the charge, and then here comes immigration, even though they've been living here their whole lives, to try to deport them to a country they don't know anything about. But they came over here when they were 5 years old with their parents, and they don't know anything else. They don't know how to speak Spanish, or they don't know how to speak whatever. They don't know their family there, because they've never been able to leave, because they didn't have the papers anyways, and they got here with no papers. So that's always a very tricky, sticky situation. But you got to make sure you have an immigration attorney and a criminal attorney, or you're going to have an immigration attorney that's a criminal attorney. And no matter what attorneys you have, they've got to work together, because I have seen plenty of times where criminal attorneys have done things that will mess up somebody's immigration, not knowing, because criminal attorneys are not normally well versed in immigration. So you have to make sure that your criminal attorney knows what they can and cannot do, so that your papers are not compromised and your status is not compromised. Have a fantastic day. Make sure you click the like button, guys. Subscribe. Make sure you add this YouTube channel. It's Legal QT. Legal, the letter Q, the letter T. Make sure you add me on Instagram, she_ya_lawyer. Okay? Look for me on Facebook, Allie Booker. I'll add you. And enjoy your day. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to email me, booker@bookerlawfirm.com. Your question very well may wind up on this network. Have a fantastic day.